The strangest thing I saw at CES has to be the L'Oreal Smart Hairbrush.
Yeah, it was like a doctor's office scale plus plus.
The acceleration that we're seeing in the world of autonomous cars and self-driving cars is really a bit breathtaking.
Where you could step on it with your bare feet and it would measure your body composition.
We can get a little smarter, but what's it going to take for us to get there? And I think that the fear is the creepiness factor. I think we're all like, oh, it's creepy if we know too much.
It's got to be that hairbrush.
And so it would tell you on a readout how much of your body was made up of fat cells, muscle cells, bone cells. Needless to say, I kept my shoes on. I didn't want to try it.
But I think that we're underestimating the willingness of people to buy things that do that for them and opting into it. And I think we're finally at that stage where we kind of want a little bit of creepy.
It won an innovation award, so I mean, I can imagine it must be innovative in the field of hairbrushes, but I don't know many people clamoring for hair advice every morning they brush their hair.
It seemed fairly accurate, but it seemed also rather embarrassing to do that on a large scale in front of an audience.
Every morning you feel like you brush your hair and like, okay, I learned this lesson. Then the next morning you need to learn a new lesson. Like this is going to be a daily lesson for you. I take it all back. It sounds like this is the most necessary product.
So let's go for it. Let people try out a little creep.
I think it's really important to have a meaningful user experience with your digital product in 2017, because if you have the most beautiful user interface and the experience of using that product is unfulfilling, it won't matter. At the end of the day, people will just put it in a drawer and they won't use it, they won't think about it. You want engaged users who are constantly coming back to and delighted by your experience. So putting that effort up front is going to be what sets you apart in the environment in 2017.
There's so many experts in the space, and sometimes being an expert, and I think that a lot of people in technology will also recognize this in themselves, where when we become experts, we sometimes lose our connection with the user experience of what that user is experiencing from their day-to-day, how it fits within the product that they're building, and how that might impact them long-term. So, when we have solutions, being able to validate those solutions with people who are going to be experiencing or needing to use your service. So I would think that more than anything, it's going to be taking a step back as an expert and truly investing in your user research and getting usability studies in play. Because there are definitely some pitfalls for not doing that. And I think that with our excitement in coming up with cool solutions, we really need to validate the problems and validate that people are getting the solution that makes sense for them and the lifestyle that they have.
So I think we'll see the maturation of trends that have been around for a while, like VR, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence. But what I think we'll see is those come together in really interesting ways and really interesting and novel ways.
While you're in the discovery phase of your process of trying to figure out what it is that you need to build and why and who needs it, just getting extremely clear on that. And I think all too often we go, oh, we don't know what the problem is, but we're going to just jump right in because we have a lot of predetermined biases of assumptions on what the problem might be without actually engaging with that potential end user.
So an example might be in healthcare. There's been a ton of work around how to help patients through a treatment process. And one of the big challenges is making sure that patients have the right information at the right time and that they really understand what they're being told and the information they're being provided. You could introduce, for instance, VR into that into that experience, a very sort of non-traditional experience, but it may very effectively communicate some information that was hard to communicate previously.
There's a real pitfall when you're trying to push the boundaries in which you're not exactly sure where the line is between what is useful and what is not. So there's a lot of companies that products are going to end up in a landfill, but if you can pull it off and you get something that hits that sweet spot, then you're primed for success, and that's kind of what CES is all about.
I think companies who are willing to really engage with their users are the ones who are going to come out successful in this endeavor, because they are listening to their users, they're bringing that information back inside, and they're able to build meaningful digital products that actually address what users want to do, where they want to do it, and with what tools.